Alright, curly tees, I'm going to show you a clip of how I hydrated the Sepimax Zen to a very thick gel without having to let it sit for 8 hours or overnight. This clip is from the Aloe Bamboo Gel DIY video.
Natural hair beauty is possible if you take care of your hair and make the most of what nature has given you.
Okay, if you're like me, you used to think Sepimax Zen could only reach full hydration and thickness by letting the powder sit overnight or for 8 hours after sprinkling it into the batch. Well, that's not exactly true. Sepimax Zen is a powerful emulsifier that can also be used to create transparent gels. It has a good amount of electrolyte resistance and is a nice substitute to carbomers. Carbomers are very sensitive to pH. Whether they thicken or not is determined by the pH. That's not the case with Sepimax Zen. If I'm making a gel or a serum using herbs that tend to keep the pH low, Sepimax Zen is always a consideration because I don't have to worry about raising the pH to get the gel to form. Sepimax thickens over a wide pH range. According to the supplier, it works anywhere from a pH of 2 to a pH of 8. You may have to adjust the percentage, of course, to get your desired consistency, but it won't turn into a liquid because you added marshmallow root or hibiscus tea, for example. You know what I mean?
And you might also think that all this doesn't matter.
That's where you'd be wrong.
Now, there's something I noticed by accident with Sepimax Zen. You don't have to wait 8 hours or overnight for a nice thick gel to form. You see, I thought for years that this ingredient can only achieve a substantial viscosity if it was added to the mix and allowed to sit undisturbed for hours. Well, that's not exactly true. Manually stirring it for about 2 minutes and then letting it sit for about 10 minutes starts the superior gelling process. What I'm betting on is that using high shear like a stick blender may cause an issue by negatively affecting the viscosity, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I just know that sometimes with some polymers, viscosity is negatively affected by high shear, so manually stirring by hand is the preferred method here.
We're off to a good start this morning.
After about 1 minute, you'll notice the mix getting thicker and the white clumps decreasing rapidly. Alright, the video is sped up right now, but I'm manually stirring at the speed you saw earlier. Not very slow, but certainly not very quick either.
But whatever the creative concept, quality has always been a prime consideration.
After 2 minutes of manual stirring, it's well on its way to a fully hydrated, thick gel. After 2 minutes, it's well on its way to full hydration. Don't use a stick blender or high shear mixing at this point. Okay, from here, just leave it alone for about 10 minutes. Just let it sit while you prepare your other ingredients. Okay, you see how it's not a light serum or a light gel? It's a thick gel and it's ready for your other ingredients, including a small amount of electrolytes. After you add the rest of your ingredients, you may or may not have to use a low shear mixer, like a little mini mixer or a milk frother, to get a smooth final product. The final product is a thick, substantial gel. This formula has an oil-based ingredient added without a solubilizer, so it'll be cloudier than if you were trying to make a more transparent gel. But the point is, I didn't have to wait for 8 hours or overnight to get this thick gel. I've used 2% Sepimax Zen before, where I've added it to the water phase and used a stick blender. For whatever reason, it didn't quite thicken up this much. I don't know if it was the high shear mixing that stopped it or if it was the inclusion of aloe vera juice in the water phase that affected the gelling process, or if it was any other ingredients interacting with each other, you know? I'm just not sure why that turned out to be the way it was. All I know is I'm going to be using this method from now on. Now, if y'all already knew this, then why come y'all ain't told me? Why y'all make me suffer for 8 hours every time I use this stuff? Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyway, for more DIY recipes and formulas, hit the links in the description box and join us to learn how to make blue pea flower gel with Sepimax Zen. Check out the next video.